What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is The Flash, Season 3, Episode 8, Invasion. The first night of the 4-night crossover, because screw last night. Well, actually, technically, last night was The Flash. I'm doing this the next morning. Anyway, yeah, Supergirl, not the first night of the crossover. This is the first night of the crossover. We have everybody coming together. We have all the introductions amongst the team. We have a fight between the team because when you have a crossover, that's something you kind of have to do at some point to have fun with it. So there are some good things, there are some bad things. I will say the bad things are a little bit more than I was hoping there'd be. I knew there'd probably be some problems. There'd probably be some moments where you're just like, okay, when you have such a big cast, you have to sort of go with the fact that it's not going to be a perfect episode. But there were just a couple things that kind of threw me off overall. First of all, I was really hoping that because the CGI in all of the shows really, there have been a couple episodes where I feel like the CGI has been really, really poor compared to some of the other seasons. I was hoping it was because maybe they spent so much money on the crossover event that that's where all the money for the CGI went, and that's why some of the CGI in the past few episodes for all of these shows just hasn't been as good as I expect. To be honest, it's not. I don't know. The CGI is not bad. Like, the aliens look like they're actually in the scene. They don't look like they're photoshopped in there. But then again, the design for the aliens isn't anything spectacular. I mean, I feel like I've seen this type of looking alien before. And then on top of that, the fight scenes weren't that entertaining. I mean, a lot of it was just you see Oliver fighting like Sarah and Thea and Diggle, but even then, at one point, Sarah for some reason goes up while Thea and Diggle just sort of stand off to the side, and those two are fighting now. It's like, really, we couldn't have Oliver fighting the three of them? How much more entertaining would that have been? And then the Flash lures away Supergirl so she can destroy the device that's mind controlling them. But all that really is just you just see them. He's running around the city, she's flying after him, and that's pretty much it. Aside from a couple times where she shoots a laser at him midway, that was it. When they get inside the building, it's just them. You see him running around, and then he stops for a second, and there's Supergirl looking at him angry. Runs around for a second, he stops, there's Supergirl looking at him angry. It was the same thing, and I'm just like, you could have done more with this. So the action really wasn't as entertaining as I would hope it would be. When you have such an epic event like this, we saw Firestorm, Atom, and Heatwave maybe a few seconds in the fight, at the beginning. And then when they separated, Supergirl and Flash, and then, like I said, Sarathi and Diggle with Oliver. So, I don't know. I was really disappointed by that. I feel like they could have done more with it. I feel like there's just so much potential there, so much you could do, so many entertaining things we could see, and we just kind of got a little bit of it, a little bit of what I imagined we could get. The rest of it, were there some problems? Well, I think the biggest problem this episode really has is it's the first night of the crossover. Because we didn't do any of the crossover really in Supergirl, a lot of the crossover has to be introduced in this episode. So instead of spreading out a crossover over 4 nights, we have 3 nights, so they have to rush everything in this episode. For the first, I think, 30 minutes of the episode, of course, maybe 20 if you count commercials, it's them, the aliens come, and that's setting up, okay, why are they crossing over? Here's why. The aliens have come, they're going to try to take over the Earth. So then we have the next 10 minutes after the first 10 minutes, getting them all together, explaining who they are. Storylines have to be talked about. We've got Martin and Jax. They're talking to Barry about the message that he sent to Rip Hunter in the future. We've got Barry learning from Ray that Snart died as a hero, sacrificing himself. We've got some other storylines going on with Wally, with Iris, with Caitlin. All these little storylines just sort of popping up. It's just none of them really get focus here. It's almost like, oh yeah, let's remind everybody just in case they forgot. I don't know. It's just it could have been done so much better. It could have been spread out a bit more if the Supergirl episode was not just about Supergirl. If we'd actually made it about them introducing the characters to Supergirl, and then maybe after that we talk a bit more about, okay, what's going on with in between the characters. I don't know. It's frustrating to me that they decided to do it like that. The other thing that I will consider a problem. This is the last thing I'll consider a problem. The stuff with Barry changing the timeline. I get why people are upset with him about it. I get why they're upset about what he did. And, Diggle learning that he used to have a daughter, now he has a son. Yeah, I can understand the frustration with that. However, I've seen this storyline done to death in all of these shows, where one character does something that pisses off another character, and so now they don't want to. Now, them working together it's either not going to happen, or they're so angry with each other that they just don't. They don't want to. Who cares? That's my frustration. It's not that they're angry with him. It's the fact that I've seen what's going to happen, pretty much. Even with Cisco, to an extent. Maybe they are going to take some chances with him, but I see. Okay, so Barry does this thing that affects their lives selfishly. He apologizes, but they're like, no, we can't work with you. Blah blah blah. By the end of the episode, they're just like, we trust you. And it's just like, okay, sure, whatever. Just as long as it's over, because I don't want that to go through this any longer than I have to, really. So, yeah, it's just another part of the show that I'm just like, do we really have to have we're mad at you because you did this, and then by the end of it, they're okay with each other? Anyway, so all of that said, the rest of the episode was good. You have some of the storylines they are introducing are pretty exciting to figure out about. I mean, we see Barry is starting to realize even more how the timeline has changed. He goes and looks at that newspaper article that talks about him going missing, and it's not written by Iris anymore. And so it's kind of like, what's happened to the timeline now? First of all, the fact that he still goes missing in whatever time this is, that's kind of scary. And then on top of that, the fact that it's not written by Iris anymore, is she dead? Is she doing something else with her life? What happened? So it's very exciting. I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen. The stuff with Iris and Wally is a bit frustrating, but I like the fact that I guess Wally is sort of getting his comeuppance in this episode. Like, he finally says, I'm going to do this, you guys can't stop me. He goes out there and he gets his ass handed to him, and now he's hurt. So I like the fact that he made a stupid decision, consequences happened. He got hurt by Supergirl. The problem I do have with that, of course, is, one, Joe and Iris both explain several times why they don't want him to be out there. Because he might get hurt. He's still inexperienced. He still hasn't learned how to fight. And they're worried about that. And yet, he asked several times, you guys just don't believe in me. Why don't you believe in me? Why won't you let me out there? They've already told you, dumbass. They don't want you to get hurt. They don't want you to get killed. You can get killed going out there. With Barry, I mean, they don't like it necessarily with him either, but he has experience. He has a team behind him. You just running out there by yourself, you're going to get killed. You're an idiot. But then, of course, he asks HR for help. HR first says no because he's smart, but then at the end of the episode says yes because he's an idiot. So, who knows where that's going. Probably going to end with some more frustration amongst the team. They find out HR's helping him. They're probably going to kick him out of the lab or something. I don't know. It's kind of a dumb storyline for me. But everything else with the aliens itself, that's an interesting part of this episode. I don't really know what they're going to do with these aliens. Like, why are they here? What caused them to come to Earth at this time? Was that really the president that they killed? Or was that just like a hologram that they shot or something? Like, I don't know. I thought that was very weird that, they kidnapped the president and then they get there for the president and then they shoot the president and he vaporizes. It just seemed kind of odd to me that they didn't try to do anything to stop that. Anyway. But yeah, the aliens seem very interesting. I will say I don't know if I'm looking forward to tomorrow's episode, just because I feel like they kind of set it up in such a way people started getting beamed up into their ship, I guess. The problem is, all the people that got beamed up are, I think, Arrow characters. Like, Thea got beamed up, Diggle got beamed up, Oliver got beamed up. Sarah may have gotten beamed up, Mick may have gotten beamed up. I don't know. I was just hoping there would be a bit more of an epic crossover, but it kind of feels like they've now separated the group. So next episode may be more about this team that got beamed up into their ship and less about the team back on Earth. I don't know. Who knows what they're going to do, but overall, I mean, it was a good start to the crossover. I hope that there is going to be some makeup for some of the issues that I have with this episode. Like, hopefully, the final fight scene between all of our heroes and all of the aliens, hopefully that's going to be intense. I'm hoping that all of the storylines that have been cluttering this first episode, maybe they'll take back seat for the next two, and we'll get them popping up, but not kind of this one long moment where they're just, okay, let's talk about this, now let's talk about this, now let's talk about this. I want it to be more tightly condensed. I want it to be more focused on the crossover part of it, because that's the interesting part. You know, I love seeing them interact with each other. One of the things I forgot to talk about, Mick talking to Supergirl was probably one of the funniest things so far in all of the seasons. I mean, Mick and Ray has been really funny. There have been a lot of funny moments, but God, just listen to him talk to her, and it's like she doesn't really understand that he's just messing with her. You know, so he's just, I'm not going to call you Supergirl. She's like, well, what are you going to call me if you need my help? I'm not going to need your help. What if I do? I'm going to call you Skirt. It was so funny to me watching them interact, because they're two characters that you don't think would interact very well. So I love what they're doing with the interactions between these characters. It's kind of funny to see, like, they're training to fight against the aliens, and so they're training against Supergirl, and they're all just like, shoot her, and she's just sitting there laughing like, you guys are weak. So, you know, that part of it is fun. I'm hoping they do more of that as we go on, but yeah, I mean, it's a crossover event. It's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be exciting, and for the most part it was. You just have to turn your brain off at certain points, and unfortunately I couldn't do that. So maybe they'll give us more entertaining story over the next two episodes, but we'll see where it's going. I'm happy with it so far, so let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? Let me know, we can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Flash/crossover event reviews. I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.